and a PhD thesis was about the analysis of the photochemical constituents of cypress plants. I mean, the rhizobiums, whatever. He's very famous, and you just want to hear about these things from him. And now their biological activities under the guidance Dr. M.K. Mahesh sir, and MPhil dissertation also on Xanthomonas under the guidance of Dr. S. Mahesh sir. And he had worked as lecturer in Maharaja First Grade College from 2006 to 8, and Kaveri College of Nursing from 2008 to 2010, and also SCVDS School in the Nursing October 2008 to February 2008 9. And here he worked for the creating awareness in presentation of wildlife and also the environment to general public and also to the students in Chamarajendra Zoological Gardens, Mysore. You just imagine how varied are his interests. And as an assistant professor in environmental science, and in also many other Vishwakavi Kuempu College, and now he is working in the PU board. And he is giving so many other services and also continuing his research works, as I know. And also he is a person of varied interests, and also he is a very hard worker and very fond of Mysore Science Foundation. He stood by us, and every time we never felt he is some other person. He is a part and parcel of Mysore Science Foundation. He had given the lectures and speeches more than 412. Then you just imagine how he works hard, and he never wastes his time, and he will be doing services on. And he is one of the greatest what we call Deshabhakta, and also a scientist. Now over to Dr. Santosh Kannada, and we again welcome you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank
Please.
you very much, madam. Thank you, madam. Shall we start?
Yes, sir. Please do.
Okay. Okay. Today we shall share some of the concepts of Indian science and in more detail about C.V. Raman. We are all know the name of Bharata, and I was always saying that the word of our country itself is scientifically named. That means the Ba is Bhargava, Ra is Rata, and Ta is Tana. Bhargavaninda Nadsal Padva Tana Bharata. Okay, that means the earth, this is the land which is led by the sun, which is same as the science says. And our country, if you want to tell the names, the world names of our country, it will call Bharata, Bharatavarsha, Anuja Varsha, Jambu Dvipa. And we know the Dvipa means it is surrounded by the water. And here, when it was in the water, completely surrounded by the water means when it was been detached from the African continent, about 4 to 6 million years. Okay, it moved towards the Asian continent, then it touches the Asian continent and Himalaya rises. And this is the event which took place, the scientists said, about 4 to 6 million years. And and in our time scale, we have the Yuga, Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And you have seen the total number of years that has been, okay, solar years that has been mentioned there is 43 lakhs 20,000 years, which also coincide with the plate tectonic movement of the Indian subcontinent. And you can see the accuracy of this. And we know the famous person, scientist, that is Aryabhatta. He will mention that the Earth rotates on its own axis, and to rotate its own axis for one day, it will take 23 hours 56 minutes 4.1 seconds. And after 1,500 years, with all modern equipments, today the scientist says 23 hours 56 minutes 4.01 second. The difference is just 0.1 second. And this is the accuracy of the Indian scientist, which is not possible, okay, or experience without the instruments in present day. And in India, we have also got the fossils, human fossils, because we have to tell about the human civilization. For that, the human fossils availability is very important. And here, the Ramapithecus, Australopithecus, and Narmada man, which is most recent man relative of the modern day man, were available in the Shivalik Hills and Narmada Valley and all other parts. That was been told by the American archaeologist in 93, Dr. Michael Cremo. And as we know, as our textbook says, what the Indus Valley civilization is the earliest civilization. But we will go thousands of years back, that is Saraswati Valley is the civilization. The Saraswati River flowed along the Himalayas and to the Rajasthan. Okay, and this is the civilization that India would have been its basic civilization. Therefore, our oldest civilization is not Indus, that is Saraswati civilization, which run in middle of the Ganges and Sindhu. And we can also have the habitation evidences in the Mesolithic and Neolithic periods, found on the beds of the Saraswati rivers too. And therefore, between there is a close relationship between the primitive man and the Saraswati river. Thus, Saraswati Valley civilization is the basic civilization of our country. And our country has still several principles too. And one of the basic principle is let the noble thought flow to us from every side of the universe. This shows that Indians are accept the knowledge from everywhere, and they are the fond of knowledge and the characters. And Karvanto Vishwam Aryam, struggling hard, the world becomes civilized. Okay, that is the only way to get the success. That's what it says. And Vedas also says several other scientific exploration, like formation of the embryo and their characters, about weapons, it will say. And it has a dedicated chapter on the water and how to save water, how to distribute water, and how to purify the water, make it water safe on this earth. And there is no area which is not worked by the Vedic Maharshi. Therefore, India is called culture of Maharshis. And it has given the lipi. That's what the scientist Raju Dikshit says. And Sanskrit is the most oldest language of the world. And it has also mentions of the best decimals. And there is a lot of theories also to understand it. And one example, if you want to say, is Kanada's Vaishakya Sutras. This is a treatise which is written in 600 BC, and he is a person. Kanada is a person from the northern Karnataka. His book says about the mechanics, hydraulics, electricity, heat, magnetic motions, and moreover the anu. For the atom, what we call today, you'll give the anu, paramanu, which is not further divisible. That is what given by him. And therefore, in the field of science, this book is the one of the important treatises. And we also know our Vedic principle, Rig Veda will also say the light contains composed of more than or 7 rays. Combining together makes the white light, which is shown in the Surya Deva's horses. And this is the one evidence which archaeological report which I got in 2011, published in the magazine The Week. And this report says that it is the one city that is in Chhattisgarh. This city has got, and during that the archaeological exploration, they have got the hospital which is built, which belongs to the 6th century AD. And this hospital, it is a 10 patients bed hospital. It has a uh, dedicated operation theaters, and in one another room they got all these operation equipments. And you are seeing the bones. Inside the bone there is an iron. This shows there was the highest level of surgery. And this was the archaeological survey of India has published, and that report you can see in this particular picture. And this is another, this I have taken from the Dr. Rajavedam speech. There is an publication of in the journal, in the Asiatic Journal in 1819. And there is a inoculation method, ancient inoculation method, which was practicing from the at least 2,500 years. In 1905, Dr. Oliver comes from the England and to India, and he will learn this inoculation method, especially for the smallpox, okay, from the cowpox. Okay, the Indians were expert in getting the red hot needle, and for that they will take the pus and introduce the healthy person, and then the 2 days they will getting fever, then that person becomes the becomes vaccinated for this greatest disease, which is the smallpox. And that is that they learned from India. And after that, we can see the story that Edward Jenner in 18th century. Okay, that's all the story. We can see that this shows the vaccination was been first was been practiced in India. That's what the Raja Vedam scientist says. And in India, for the till 18th century, okay, for common man, there should be out of 1664 different vidyas in our Gurukulas, the 18 vidyas should be learned. And some of the vidyas are this, which has been mentioned here. Okay, and after that, they have to do two specialization. And this type of Gurukulas there were 7.5 lakh Gurukulas, almost one or two per village. This was the Dharmapal report says. And here about some of the art which has been teaching, like you can see here, the tank burns, there are different, 8 different, for metallurgy person who are the metallurgical vidyas, there were like this, textiles, okay, then craftsmen's, okay, like boat making, fishermen, sandal makers, umbrella makers, rice beaters, okay, toad makers, like this type of vidyas were been teaching in the Gurukula. And even okay, they have a British scientist has also mentioned, like one person like one Michael by name, he also report that in India there was the plastic surgery. Okay, today we will call that as a rhinoplasty. You can see in this particular picture. Okay, the head skin has been teared off and living at the nose, and it will plaster onto the nose. And today it is called as rhinoplast, which has been done as it is has been explained in the Sushruta Samhita. And therefore, Indian science were been greatest in those times. And it is said that there are 2,000 products, okay, which are been purchased by the very high value by the world people. And this is one classical case how the British destroyed such an industry. This is a cotton industry. They made ban on the cotton, Indian cotton during 1700s. And 16 gajas here, gaja cloth has been kept folded and kept in one small packet. And that is the quality of the Indian textile. Then they made the rules and chopped off the textilers, weavers, and destroyed the cotton industry. Not only cotton industry, even the ship industry, okay, like iron industry, everything they destroyed it. And Rajiv Dixit says that the Royal Society of London, okay, learns Indian science, plastic surgery, medicine, metallurgy, and vaccination methods, etc., from India. That's what he says. And in this background, okay, this how the Indian science and industries were destroyed. And they want to introduce after 50 years during the 1970s and 80s time, they want to introduce the science to India. And during that, the Mahendra Lal Sarkar, one of the person who also worked on this science without opposing the Britishers, and he built the ISES. And other person who worked for the education and development are this Lala Hardayal and J.R.D. Tata, you know it, okay, and Subhash Chandra Bose stresses on the scientific, having the scientific education, and one of the continuation of the Marshi Gurukula style of learning, and we can call it Marshi of India, that is Sir C.V. Raman. And we will know about him and his life in detail, okay, more clearly. And this is his family, his father, his sisters, and mother. His mother is Parvati Amman, father is Chandrasekhar Iyer. Okay, and he was born in 7th November 1888. And this is his village and home where he has been born as the second child. And his brother was called as Subramaniam Iyer. Okay, And Raman father himself was a teacher in SPG college in Tirchinapalli. And later he will have his education and move to the AVN college, Visakhapatnam. Okay, there he taught physics, mathematics, and physical geography. And he has excellent collection of the Indian philosophy, mathematics, and physics books too. And he himself a wrestler and athletic person, and he used to swim across the river Kaveri, and he was a one of the athletic or healthy person. Okay, and Raman, and he had his elementary initial education in there. Then he moved to the Visakhapatnam. Okay, there he got his matriculations and completes his matriculation at 12, and then they will move to the Madras. Before going to that, Raman is a very, very interesting personality. He's very intelligent and he's a voracious reader. He has been influenced and he has been read many of the books like Radhakrishnan's Algebra, Smith's Bayer's Geometry, okay, Stevens Trigonometry, and many other cases. And he used to taught for his brothers, friends also. And he has read the Greek classics, Indian classics, and many of the cases, whatever in form, he has read all the books. And the with his father, he used to go to the his college, father's college, and read all the books. And that was his passion for reading. And he cleared his matriculation with the first rank, okay, in 1903. And then you'll move to the Madras, to the Presidency College for his higher studies. And in Madras, when he joined and returned during the summer vacation, he is very interested to say his thoughts, what has he been learned about the science to his brothers and sisters, and he used to explain his brothers and sisters about how the color of these pearls or the what you will call shells were being expressed. He used to make these soap bubbles and show that why it is circle only, spiral only, and how the elasticity will be seen, or how the rainbow colors has been seen. This used to explain by to his brothers and sisters so that they can attractively learn it. And these are the books which influenced the Raman, as he told in 1950s in an interview. That is Light on Asia about Buddha by okay, Arnold, and Elements of Lucid and Sensations of the Tones. These are the three books which is influenced the Raman at its most. And this is the picture of his classmate in the Presidency College. And Raman, as it whenever he read, okay, he read about the Buddha. He tell to his okay, grandmother, he used to call Pati, and that if one has to be succeed, one has to be, they must sacrifice something. That's what he tells. And by hearing the sacrificing that by by the mouth of the small boy, his grandmother get worried. What about him? He's already telling about this. What sacrifices and everything. And she gives an example of the words of the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, which was been some in some context, but she will say like this: one should be like a boat, and it should always stay on the water, but water should not be in the water. That's what she tells. Therefore, you should be inside the family, not above the family. Okay, that's what she says. And he will reply that your philosophy may have many answer, but our science has only one answer. Therefore, I will be with my science. And in this, during this time, he will clears the BA. Again, he is always first and joined MA. And this is the Presidency College and the lab, a Presidency College lab. Okay. During these 2 years of master degree in physics, he attended the class for only one day. His teacher has given so independence to him that whenever he want, he can attend. And he was spending all the time in the laboratories or in the libraries working on these experiments or in the writings. He writes his first paper, that is asymmetrical diffraction bands due to the rectangular aperture observed when light is reflected where very oblique at the face of the prism. A uh, 5-page paper he has written and give to his teachers. Okay, his teacher put him onto the table and throw it on the table. They won't reply anything. Then afterwards he come to home, and he was value adding that for the paper. While adding, his grandmother come and sees, take the paper and see, there is no diagram only in this particular paper. And he will say, if you want to add the diagram, you should put himself, his photo himself. That's what he'll tell. And mother will give the wishes so that he will write more papers, and you will send to the philosophical magazine. It will be accepted. Okay. And during this time, you will also send another second paper to the nature. Okay, about the curvature methods of determining the surface tensions of the liquid. Okay, that is also accepted in 1907. And these two papers were been saw by the Lord Rayleigh, another great scientist, who explains the color of the sea. Okay, by that time. Okay, he addresses Raman as a professor Raman without knowing it is a 17, 18-year-old boy. And during that time, the picture taken on this presidency college with their teachers and Raman in the middle. And Raman, as he completes the MA in physics, okay, his brother asked him what you will do next. Then you will tell, okay, of course, you will join as a professor so that you can read and do the research. Okay, and his brother tells, if you become a teacher, okay, or professor, you have been saw the how the JC bus were being treated by the British. They won't get handful of money, okay, and you will be in trouble. Then he replies, well, okay, it may be trouble for me, not for you. That's what you tell. Okay, what is your worry? If we don't, if we don't worry, okay, our father has made a lot of loans, we cannot clear. Therefore, we two together should join hands to clear this loan. Therefore, you should join a civil service, or okay, like financial service, you should take the financial service exam. Okay, that's what he told. And his teachers were also saying, take ICS exam, you go to the England, you will get 100% succeed. But his Madras surgeon doctor suggests him, you cannot withhold the bad cold climate of the England, therefore it is better not to go. And likewise he will reject of going to the England. And after that, this incident of the Subramanian with his brother will happen, and both will take the exam and both will get clear. And during that time, when we are waiting for the appointment order, okay, another incident will happen. There was his friend by name Shivan, which is working for the Indian culture and okay, in many aspects. Now, when we visiting, when we going to his home, he was not in home, but he listened for one voice, a song, singing that Rama Ninage Samana Naraya Tyagaraj Kirtan, it was been singing. Okay, by singing to this song, he will feel that this is the voice or this is the lady that I should marry. And he will go and talk with his brother and to about I like this girl to I will get marry her. And his brother will ask, okay, what about the father? First, parents should see, then you should go and see her. And but you now you go and see, like that the talk will go on, and both the parents will agree from both the sides on about this marriage. The Hindu press published that it is a intersecting marriages between in the Brahmin, like that a big newspaper article was been published during those time. Okay, and this is the peculiar nature of the Raman. Once you like it, this is just he will do whatever he likes. Okay, and that's what the end this shows. And now for financial service, they call appointed in the Calcutta during the world capital of the British. Okay, during this financial service, he was working okay a little bit away from the science. One day he will saw while returning to the home, he'll see the board, the Indian Association of Cultivation of Sciences. Uh, and by seeing this science word, he jumped from the tram and go back and go into the institute which has been made IACS. And when we entered this, when he saw the big room and with apparatus, whatever present, and nobody was using. And there was a person of authority called Asitosh Dubey. You will ask him, what is this? Nobody is working with such a huge apparatus. Okay, he'll say, in some years back, it was very, very busy lab. Now no one is here. And our in charge will come tomorrow. You please come tomorrow. That's what he will tell. And he will say this particular, the person is Amrutlal Sarkar. Okay, and as I told earlier, it was the institute built by the Mahendra Lal Sarkar. Now he was dying in frustration that nobody is using this lab. He built this lab for the people, for the development of science, but nobody has properly utilized it. He died in that particular frustration, and now it has been in the hand of Mahendra Lal Sarkar, his son. Okay, and morning, next day, they were both Mahendra Lal Sarkar and sorry, Amritlal Sarkar and Raman meet, and Raman's show his paper. I have published this much of amount of paper. I'm working here, and I will want to use your lab during my free times. And Mahindra Amritlal Sarkar will get up and go and hug him, so that I was waiting for you. Please come and work. That's what he agrees. And from now onwards, this Raman's life again will turn a new turn. He get up at 5:30 and go to the lab in the association and work till 9:45. And after 9:15, you going to work, and again to come back to the home, take a bath and fast breakfast and leave to the office. And till 5 to 6, he was working in the office, and again he come back to the lab and work till 10 or till late night. And this was become his habit of working, and he start working one side as the financial, okay, financial service, and another side as the scientist in the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. Both he start managing at the times as a financial officer and this particular case. And on 1909, he get a clue that he has been promoted and shifted to the place to the Rangoon. Okay, he was been transferred to the Rangoon, and that's also you can see here. Before that, he will work on the some of the instruments, that is musical instruments, about Indian musical instrument and Western musical instrument. He was comparing that particular case and sent to the paper to the nature and stretched. He will work on the stretched strings, okay, and that will be also accepted in the nature. And during that time, he got transferred to the Rangoon. Rangoon is a faraway place. They want to go to the ship. Okay. Yes, they want to go by the ship to that particular places, and one has to hand over all the bills, money, and everything. It is a 1 week process to get the charge of that uh, particular place or job. And here he got into this, and one room he made it as a lab, which is the equipments were by taking the help of his friend, and started studying on this particular faraway place itself, and published 2 papers on that particular place. And he was interested in one studying the come to know that one comet is coming towards the earth, that is Halley comet, and he wanted to study the its effect or light diffraction emitted by that particular comet, okay, during that entry time. But there you won't get any of the equipments or the powerful telescope to study. He get frustrated, and by the time his father friends will come to Nagpur, to the Rangoon visit, and he will tell about his father ill health, and but he will tell they will be okay because he's the person who has been swimming in the river Kaveri. Like that, he will okay, some words they will tell, and after 2 days, the message will come to him that his father is dead. And during this particular time, okay, he will apply for this 6 months leave, and you get frustrated with the getting the leave. For it will take almost 11 days, okay, and he will come back during the 11th day ceremony of his father's death to this Madras or Visakhapatnam. And then they applied for the leave, and his brother by the time made all the work done, and he will left for this Lahore for his job. And then Raman took over this family and shifted the home to some other places in the Madras. And then he started working in the Presidency College. Presidency College, his brother used to go to lab, and he will go to his brother used to go to class, and he will go to the lab, and started studying about the stars and Halley's comet. He was waiting. He had already the news. It is appeared in the Heidelberg. It appeared in South Africa, like that. And at a time, it got missed. Okay, it missed the by 322 kilometers from the Earth. Like that, Raman get worried, but the work what he has done on this stars and comet, which will give the fruitful results. Then he'll get the news. At the end of the closing of his leave, he has been um, transferred to the Nagpur. Now he come to the central India. There he will go and join to that particular office. And first he'll search the which is the not the home, where is the college, science college, and go to meet that principal and take permission. I have made such a papers, and you please allow me to the work in your laboratory. That's what he will ask, and make the home nearby the college itself. And that's what you can see there. And during that period, there was a plague in the city, and they were supposed to live for 6 weeks in the tents. Then you will be transferred to back to the Calcutta. Okay, he will get very happy. This time there was no promotion, but he will very happy that he was going back to home. And association people will also very happy that Raman is coming back. Okay, that's what the relation between the ISES and the Raman was. And as soon as back to the Calcutta, you will join to the Astronomical Society of the India and given some lectures. Okay, there like diffraction of the light and its relation to the performance of the telescope and astronomical optics, and studied the Saturn, and gave 2 lectures on this observation. Okay, and all his lectures were published later in the journals of them. Okay, and published a long paper on spectroscopic optics in the Journal of the Astronomical Society of India, which was been appreciated by the Gilbert Walker, which recommended the Raman's name later into for the FRS by the Royal Society of the London. Okay, later in 1912, he mounted telescope on the roof of the ISES. And wrote the annual report in 1913. The work was been very well done. Okay, and Raman work was been assisted by the Ashu Babu in Calcutta. In later times, he inspired the lab assistant to write a research paper, and he will also publish his paper. Okay, in the philosophical magazine. That is the thing which has been Raman has been done, and this is most interesting thing which we can see in we cannot see in others. And during the time, okay, the death in 1917, it is 19 not it is not 1907. Okay, 1917. Okay, sorry, is Sundaram, his brother dead in 1907, and Meena, another his sister dead in the 1912. Okay, now another is very favorite brother Skanda died in 1914. And this Skanda's death worried him much, and he life is will thought the life is short, and I was to work for his ambition, and he will increase tempo to work on the research. During this time, you will get the notice that University of the Calcutta or the Bengal is offering for the professorship for him. And during this period, he is working on the musical instruments too. And 14 to 17, he published 13 research papers and long monograph of 200 pages. Okay, and later it will also get publishers. And for this, during the early times, you'll also get 2 awards: the Curzon Research Award and Woodburn Research Medal for his work, and he was get famous in the entire Europe. And by seeing this fame, the university calls him and for the appointment that he want his work as a you want to work him as a you appoint him as a professor, and professor that is called as the college professorship. They offer that one, but there was a problem that they want to share at least for a short span of time. They should go to the England. The person should go. That means Raman should go to England and work. Then heard this, Raman reject the offer. If he go to the abroad, he will go only for the evaluation, not for the study. That's what he says, and reject the offer. Then the university people modified their rules itself, and they'll say if they want Raman, not the rules. That's what like they will reject this what abroad working experience, and then appoint him as the professor. But there was some problems in this appointment. In 1919, you'll get appointed about this by resigning for the financial service. And Raman has some important postulates that is made, how to become, how to identify the any research, how identify the new things. That was his postulates. He'll say the nature holds key to the all the mysteries of creation. And you one has to ask the right question to nature, then only she will reveal these secrets. And if you want to ask the right question, how you will go to know which is the question that has to be asked? One has to observe nature. When you observing nature, then only you will understand what question should be asked for the nature. Then the thing is only to experimental verification, okay, and answer the key to the science. And that experimental verification will become the key to the science, and science can give the answer to the mysteries of the creation. This was the Roman postulates which is made, okay, to be able to discover anything from the nature. And that's what will also get remembered about how the Srinivas Ramanujam will also inspired for working on this mathematics. Okay. And this is Mukherjee, Vice Chancellor of the uh, university, okay, who are offered the letter for the Raman to take the fellowship or the lecture professorship. Okay, in 19, he will start, he joined as a complete, he rejected the financial service completely and joined as the professor. Now he started working in the ISES, okay, and University of Science colleges, which has been established by the university. And during this time, a flu pandemic will come, okay, and it's another sister by name Mangalam is also dead on the November at the age of 27, which also again disturbs him. Okay, but whatever the family problems, you never get disturbed with the experiments what you want to conduct. Okay, that is the nature of the Raman. Okay, without that nature, okay, there was a lot of problem in his life, or he's not such a rich person like others. Like others, but in spite of that, he has done never disturbed, or his research life was never been disturbed. This is this nature made him to publish, to calculate. If you want to calculate how much research paper which he has been written in this lifetime, means as his first author, he has written 465 papers in his lifetime. In that, 324 are single author paper, and 138 are the with the others, and besides his name are the co-authors. And with his students, he has 200 students, he has published 1500 papers. Okay, if you leave this 1500 and other with other, we take only 324 papers. If you think one for one paper, we if you keep 2 months, it means you would have been started publication by the age of 5. Okay, that is the extensive work that has been done by him. Okay, and this is possible only with the Raman, with that passion of love for the research, with in spite of all difficulties. And these are the volumes. His research papers has been published by the Indian Academy of Science, Bangalore, in 6 volumes. They have published all his research papers in here. And during that, you will also visit several institutions, okay, like University of Mysore also you will come. During that, you will say that one has to, okay, you should not import the equipments from the outside. You have to order for the take the help of the local engineers, and then you should, okay, and then you should make your own instrument. That was been told in the Mysore University convocation. Okay, and for the to have the good research. That's what he says. And during this time, his work with the he got more students get attracted towards him and started working. There are nearly 13 students under him now for working under the optics. Now he started working along with these acoustic. He also started for the working in the light, about the light diffraction and all other cases. And Rutherford, okay, and the J.J. Thomson meets the Raman when he visited in 1921 to this European tour. Okay, and the vice chancellor advises him to go to have a trip for the Europe, a study tour about these cases. But he will first reject it, but then he accept that particular offer and go to the England and Europe, and they visit and extend the further 4 months of leave there and visit the Cathedral Hall, a whispering gallery where the people earlier thought that the reflections, it is due to the echoing of the sound, repeated sound is due to echoing. But he will say that it is the sound waves travel on that circumference. At the end, it will get okay energy and multiply, and this is the cycle that is going on, not just merely by echo. And after follow and write two papers on his tour itself, and then follow when he came back to the Calcutta. And while coming back to the India, okay, in a ship called okay Nakuda, okay, SS Nakuda. This is the ship when this ship is passing through the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, he saw the extensive blueness of the sea and think why this blueness is. Till that the Lord Raleigh has explained that this color of the sea is due to the mere reflection of the blueness of the sky. That was is told by him, but he did not accept it and started. He always have the pocket, a prism, and small pocket spectrophotometer, and started the experiment on the ship deck. One person said that it is an extraordinary sight on the ship, okay, to see the turbaned Indian scientist conducting experiment in ship deck with simple okay, polarizing nickel prism and pocket spectrophotometer, okay, and by taking the sea samples. That was this people will say. And this is an extraordinary work made by him, which later lead him to the Nobel Prize too. And this is the spectrophotometer that he was been using. And as soon as reach the India, Bombay, at the port itself, Bombay port, he will write a paper and go by the car and mail for the nature, for the publication. And you'll also send by cable so that it soon reaches for the publication. And the paper name is The Color of the Sea. Okay, and after coming back, he follows up. Firstly, as we told, the whispering gallery, you find the places, some of the monuments in India, like Gol Gumbas, he will visit and follow up the. He'll write further two papers in that on that particular case, and then I'll done more experiment on the light scattering and write another paper of 18 pages in mid-November, okay, which was published in Proceedings of the Royal Society in 1922. And Raman nominated in 1921 by the Walker, which has been inspired by the papers that he has written on the Jupiter. Uh, and that has been inspired the okay, Walker, and further other scientists like Simpson will also nominate him, and in 1924 will get the Fellow of Royal Society. After getting this, one of the biggest fame, the Vice Chancellor of the Calcutta University asks, what next? And Raman suddenly replies, it is Nobel, of course. Okay, that's what his ambition to get the Nobel Prize. And after becoming nominating for this case, Fellow of Royal Society will also nominate students like the Krishnan, the Homi J. Baba, and many others to get so that Indian scientists should get his fame for their research work. That was not only getting himself, he'll want other Indians to also get the fame for their research. That was his ambition. And in 1925, he wrote a letter to the J.D. Brilla about for donation to buy the spectrogram. Okay, if you and he will tell if you give this a donation to buy the spectrogram, and he will assure that you will get a Nobel Prize in further 5 years. He'll promise to get the Nobel Prize within 5 years. That was his commitment and his ambition and his confidence in his work. In 1927, okay, Compton was awarded the Nobel Prize. Okay, and Raman get astonished by this work because okay, he works on X-ray, and it says that it must be true on the if it work on X-ray by the what done by the Compton, it should be true for light also. Okay, he worked on the fluorescence. Okay, fluorescence will change weaken the wavelength. That's what worked by the Compton. Okay. In 1921 and 27, Raman pursued the phenomenon of light scattering in the gases and different types of liquid also, and assigned the job for the experimental details for the students. Like Venkateshwaran found they will work on the pure glycerin, okay, and the scattering of the light was greenish in color instead of usual blue. About 8 different liquids they will work on this different liquid they will work and see the what will the effect and observed in all the cases. In milestone on morning on 8th February, Raman and Krishnan both set up a long telescope and Raman design all the experimental details he will design, okay, and he will be observing and he wants to go for the giving the lecture. He has to keep on observing the results for the Krishnan, okay, and for next few weeks. And they will get the result. They compile the results, okay, of the 8th February and 16th February. They send the paper for the Nature, okay, which they worked on the gases and liquids. And following up in 28th February, okay, the important discovery that Raman collected Raman collected contacted local newspaper, okay, for the announcement that they have made a great discovery. That what is the discovery is this. Okay, there when the light falls on the liquid, it used to scatter the light, and the incident light will get more along with the regular light. You'll get the high energy light, high energy wavelength light. Also, they used to get that what it was in a, occurred, and that line will be later called as the Raman line itself. And this is the discovery that made by the Raman. Okay, and this is later it will be called by the name as Raman effect. And when we observe this one, first they will announce for the local newspaper. It will be published in 29th February. Okay. Then on 8th March, he sent the further sent to the further to note to the Nature. Okay, it will be published in 21st April. On 16th March, after establishing the presence of the spectra, okay, through the spectroscopic evidences, he presented his findings to the okay and gave the talks in the Bangalore, okay, and Bangalore about his finding, which later again they will also publish it in their journals, okay, like he will follow up his work, okay, and lectures was published in 31st March in the Indian Journal of Physics, and 2000 reprints were being distributed to the and sent to the different parts of different scientists, and this was being done. And this is the picture which shows that how the water molecule will scatter this particular light rays. And one important thing is when this discovery has been made, the Einstein, okay, says that he was get thrilled with the discovery. This quantum theory was being conceived in the work of the Planck in 1899, okay, and of Einstein in 1905. But the development continued for 2 decades, that is 20 years, in the laboratory of the Raman. Okay, therefore, this is the milestone work in the quantum theory that was the Einstein says and give the credit for this due work of the for the Raman. Raman was waiting that you will get Nobel Prize, okay, for this thing in 1929, but in that time for that year it will be given for some other people, okay, some other one, and then he packed this particular I booked the ticket for the England in 1930, so that still an announcement has been not made, but ticket has been booked so that you will get the Nobel Prize. And likewise, in November, announcement will made Raman has got the Nobel Prize in 1930, and it was given in 1910. Okay, these are all the several scientists of the world who has been credited. The work of the Raman is unique, and it is within a year 148 papers was been followed as the base on this particular discovery, and they will name it as a Raman effect. And this is the picture where Raman is giving the lecture, okay, in the Nobel Prize while taking the Nobel Prize. And there you can see three incidents. One, the ambassador of the British is feeling frustrated to listen for this talk. Okay, another saw that Union Jack flag on the back, and he is telling that a poor country do not have its own flag also. And also many people who love him also excited to listen his words and very happy about his discovery, what is in milestone discovery of the world. That was the three things which is going on at the same time in his life. And one man asked during the evening party, there has been serving of an alcohol. This is the another interesting incident. During that time, the waiter will also serve for the Raman too. Then you will answer, okay, you have seen the effect of alcohol, effect of Raman on alcohol. Don't try to see the effect of alcohol on Raman. That was the joke. That was the incident that has been made by the Raman. And after that, you'll come back to the Calcutta and start working. Okay, and this Nobel Prize, okay, it being the fame for the India, but some Indians get disappointed with this. One of the person which get disappointed is Meghnad Saha, which is another scientist which work on the astrophysics. He always okay, feel jealousy about the Raman. Okay, because some other person came to the Bengal and doing all this much of cases, and he started. Writing the letters, okay, and in newspaper he write about Raman and about his achievement, and at last he'll write there is okay, he will going to leave the Calcutta for the to get appointed as the director of the Indian Institute of Science. But Raman has never think about that particular cases itself. Okay, one like this Nobel Prize, for one side they will bring the fame, okay, and world recognition. Another side, okay, many Indians are also get a very very bad opinion on this particular. Nobel Prize should not be given only for the Raman. It should be the work is of Krishnan. Like that, many people say some false news also. Okay, even things are going bad, then Raman accepts the okay directorship of the Indian Institute of Science. That means it literally being throwing out of the Calcutta. On one incident, you'll say he'll never go from Calcutta, and he has okay taken the land in Darjeeling also. Okay, but they made him to go out forcefully, and he at least it had the directorship of the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. Then he accept, but the person will follow. That Meghana Saha and Sham Prasad Mukherjee, with the rivalry of the Raman, will follow him and accept the membership in Indian Institute of Science, and also troubling there also. They'll keep on in first day itself. They always trouble him. And Indian Institute of Science, to tell it, by the that time till 1933, till Raman arrives, 32 publication, only 32 publication were made by the institute. Uh, and after coming of Raman in 34 to 35, 148 papers will published from the within in 1 year. 48 publication will come out from the Indian Institute of Science. You will charge up the institute, and more number of students will be attracted, and you will work for the refinement very vigorously, so that into institution will get the international recognition. But this working fast nature of the Raman will make disappoint the British workers with you getting salary of 4 times what they get in England. But here they did not work at all, and they will importing the equipments and just making the money. For that type of person, it will become very very difficult, okay, to adjust for this fast work of the Raman. And several left the institute. Okay, so the Britishers were left the institute, so not liking to work under the Indian, and that also some cases which has been seen. And to he was one opinion that the world renowned scientists should come to our place and inspire our student, and our students should not go to the abroad and for the study. That was his opinion, and bring the famous scientist Max Born. When he was about to leave the Germany, he offered him to come to the Indian Institute of Science and work here, so that our students will get inspired from you and your work. But the community, England community, which was there in Indian Institute, they will never agree for this. And this also, they will make another point to get throw the stones on the Raman. Okay, and Raman tell is his work will get definitely Nobel Prize, and India will be benefited from his work. That what he says. In the same way, okay, in 1954, Max Born will get the Nobel Prize. Okay, Nobel Prize, and Raman's selection was 100% right. But this will may only way to throw the stones on him, and they set up a committee to remove the Raman, and they will remove him from the directorship in 1937. And this is the one of the worst thing, that is a big black mark on the Indian Institute of Science, which has been seen. Okay, but in spite of all this rivalry going, you will with the students you will publish more number of like you see one of the student, that is Nagendra Nath. He both work and appointing the students is very interesting also. And you won't see the what the degree he has made. You used to talk with them and see whether he has the real ability to work or interest to work. Then only he will accept that particular students. And there is one incident that one student came to interview and talked till evening, but later told he was not appointed. You have been failed. But next day that person was come and wait for him. Okay, and he asked, what for you waiting? Then you have given 2 rupees extra in TADA, therefore I have come to give it back to you. And then he will say, now he has been appointed. Okay, this is the nature of the Raman of selection. But in the selection of the students or anything is never get when it is 100% right. Like that, one of the best student is Nagendra Nath. Both will work on the now the most interesting thing, that is optic communication. Okay, it is a method of transmitting information, okay, from one place to another place by sending impulse of light and sound, both are been combined to pass the information. And this is the milestone work. Another, if you want to say, it is Nobel Prize work, the second Nobel Prize work made by the Raman. That is it will call the optic fiber, which you are talking today. To get the high internet speed optic fiber, the world recognizes it in our work. It vigorously in 1970, India in 1920, 2020, it has been recognized this work. But this work has been initiated by the Raman. Okay, and great scientist says it is Raman and Nath effect is as important as Raman effect. And therefore, if the people of India or Institute of Science supported him, there might be got a second Nobel Prize for this particular case. And it has been missed. And he is going to produce paper on papers on this particular case. And he there is thrown out from the directorship and remain as a professor in this particular case. Okay, particular in the institute, and work with the students. Another great student of him, we know, G.R. Ramachandran, who gave the three-dimensional structure of the protein, which is as important as the double helical model of the DNA. Okay, there should be another Nobel Prize, but the Madras people tell him that he was equivalent to English Christians, British Christians. Okay, and they will tell that he is mad and throw him out of the institute from the Madras. Then he come to the Bangalore. Okay, under him he will work, and that is another great scientist who is the student of the Raman. And another great student who remained in India. Okay, which I never thought to that he will remain in India and work for India. Okay, but Raman made it true that he thought his patriotic was being activated and remain in India and work for the India's power, Indian power, that is nuclear power. Okay, and Raman called Baba as Leonardo da Vinci, who can has the ability to convince anybody. Like that, he has convinced the Nehru also for the nuclear physics. Otherwise, it would have never had been made possible for this India. And another student is the Vikram Sarabhai. He is also during the Second World War time, both Raman, the Vikram Sarabhai and Baba came to him and work under his laboratory. If these two people has remained in India, and he assigned one for the nuclear physics and another for the space science, which cost me too much of money. Okay, that's why he was not able to make the research that he assigned for his students. And yeah, he is the father of Indian space science. That has been seen. And there is an interesting thing about his and Nehru's relationship. Nehru make him as a father, national professor, but whenever he done wrong, Raman directly scold him that he has made wrong and he has destroyed the Indian science. And he always telling that, give me 10 lakh for 10 lakh rupees, I will solve the future research problem. In 1940s, you'll again say, give 10 lakh rupees for 10 years, I'll solve the future research and future industrial problem. Okay, this what is repeatedly saying. Okay, and you'll say the Nehru has made the wrong selection. Once Nehru visited the Raman Institute, during this, he gave two metals and put some light on it and asked him to select which is gold and which is not a gold. And Nehru takes some which is glittering and give to him. And he will say, you again made a wrong selection. Okay, in the science advisor, what you have kept, that also you have made like this only. Okay, you have selected the wrong one, therefore it has been okay, make a burden on the India. Okay, yeah, the person Bhatnagar, whatever he has been appointed as the advisor, he will firm the national laboratories. These national laboratories, they buy the equipments from the foreigns or abroad. Okay, the Raman says the cost which we made, which is cost 5,000 rupees, for that you have given 50,000 rupees and importing that particular equipment. This will destroy the science activities in the country. That's what he says. From this type of important equipments, you can never be do the true research. That was the opinion of the Raman, and it is make a burden on these particular cases. And the whatever the incidents going on the Institute of Science during 1935 to 3017, that was in observed by the Mysore Maharaja also. And he gave the another prize for him, Raja Sabha Bhushana, and gave one necklace of the 140 diamonds which have been present, and gave this 11 acres of land for him and to build his own institute, which was started in 1943. Okay, and by the time of retirement in 1948, he'll complete its work and start having its own research institute. That was the okay what justice given by the Mysore Maharaja for him, for this whatever the bad thing happens on him. In this research part, now you started working on the diamonds and diamond lattices and its diffraction and colors of the what insects, okay, butterflies and all those things. And this is the diamond lattice what you are seeing. Yeah, as given as the honor, and he used to show, he has never shown the Nobel Prize, but he was showing this particular for everyone. And for his study, he removed all the diamonds and used it for these okay experiments too. That is the love for the science what the Raman had. And this is the some time scale, whatever the experiment that has been made by him, okay, and other cases. And these are the from 1912 to 1947, he has got so many prizes from all over the world that you can see here. And Raman Institute, whatever he has built, it is of great ambition to set up the scientific research center, which is equivalent to our ancient cultural country. And this center should be our country's knowledgeable person center who were searching for the disclosing the secrets of the universe. Thus, by doing so, should become powerful in controlling the scientific research and innovation of the world. You want to control the entire scientific works of the world, and this scientific research should help the country's great patriotic people, and then our ultimate aim will be succeeded. If our work is not helpful for our country, he's telling it is waste. And he is dissatisfied about the Nehru approaches, as I told, okay, taking the false steps in the scientific development of the country by handing over the to a person like S.S. Bhatnagar. In 1968, at his old age, he was very, very ill health. Even during that time, also, will take another project of studying the geography and geology in the Krishna Valley. Okay, because in earlier times, you see lot of diamonds has been obtained in that particular place, and you study the okay two papers on it. And in 1960s, he started working on the human eyes. Okay, how the human eyes will work, how the light perception is there, how the color will be detected, and physiology of vision. That's what he will work and bring about a big volume on this particular case. As I told, Raman is frustrated on some of the cases, like when Raman lost the Nobel Prize, okay, a Nobel Prize money. The Nobel Prize money he gave some financier. That financier will run away by taking his money. That is the first frustration that he had. And Raman is frustrated at upgradation of the Indian Institute of Science, the physics department, but people will oppose that particular case. Okay, then you'll get frustrated. Okay, and Raman is as the embracement and remove from the dictatorship. Sorry. Okay, that is directorship. Okay, that is another case. Okay, and some bringing when Max Born okay was been brought to Bangalore, that he made him to cry. The people made him to cry and go back. Then you'll go for America. That is another frustration. And when science is handed over to false hand, and science is not reaching its extent in the India, like in optic fiber, I was telling, he is the first person to work, but optic fiber, you and today, okay, India is nowhere. Okay, China is 25% of the world optic fiber is being exported by the China. And you can see India is nowhere in that particular case. And that is the bad things which has been happened. As I told the timeline, we can detect this. Okay, like 1910 to 1919, he worked on mainly spent on the summarize this one. Okay, mainly on the acoustics and space. And 1920 to 29, optics and light. Okay, 1930 to 39, he worked on ultrasonic diffractions, okay, and applications of the Raman scattering on the crystals. In 40 to 49, focused on the diamond and vibrations of the crystal lattice cells. In 1950s to 59, optics again. And 60, Raman was returning for his first phase, okay, a fascination about the vision, physiology of the vision, okay, and diamonds, okay, and the mining geography of the mining, all this, that's what she worked. In decades, we can categorize like this. And this is the publications we have made. And this is he and his wife and his two children, which is another bad story. His son was a Raja who want him to make study physics, but he'll go to Cambridge, and within 1 year he come back and he'll tell, I want to study the law. And he go to study law, and you leave that also, and fall as a prey to the hands of the communist, and go away from the home, and he will die in somewhere in some places. Okay, but in spite of this family problem, Raman never had a problem with the research. Okay, and this is his another second son and grandchildren's. And this how the what the Institute was visited by the foreigners or scientists. Okay, and some quotes, and Raman Institute, and they planted a tree of the Raman, and some of the application of the Raman effect. Okay, other cases. As a result, the February 1928 has been made as the National Science Day by the Indian government. Okay, in order to okay have the self confidence in our greatness, ancient heritage, and again make our country more achievable in the field of sciences. Okay, and the field of sciences. Okay, so that will come up. And whatever the bad thing that we have done for this such a great scientist or the Marshi, okay, when we understand it and take our country forward, that is the justice that we can give to the great life. And we can call him as the he is nowhere less to the he is a continuation of the Indian culture, that is the culture of rishis, and he can be called as the Marshi of the modern times. Thank you.
Really, it was a wonderful speech. We have to move from the Saraswati Valley to the modern civilization of India. It was really wonderful journey, and the boat was we were sailing in that civilization was Sir C.V. Raman, and that was rowed by Dr. Santosh Kannada, sir. It was really wonderful. Really, really, it was.
Thank
We were all taken by, in fact.
yes,
Thank you for sparing
thank
your
you, madam.
precious time, and it was
Please have
so wonderful.
any questions and any
Uh,
questions? Please.
any questions you please ask, and also don't forget to fill the feedback form.
Today my voice is not. It has been in my throat has been infected, so I was not able to talk properly. Okay.
You are often having this hitching of the throat.
In spite of throat infection, you have presented the paper very nicely, sir.
And I want to tell some other things that this series has been arranged when I was talking with Santosh. Okay,
Yes.
we arranged this series so that like Mary Curie, they have the entire city on them. Okay, for that scientist, the world has been recognized them and and they have given lot of importance to them. But in India, we are not valuing as we have to value the scientists, and that is the problem with us. And therefore we wanted to start this series and wanted to know about the scientists like Homi Jangir Baba, Vikram Sarabhai, JC Bose, okay, and this scientist CV Raman, and even we wanted to SN Bose also, but that was not been arranged. Okay, and now the series has been, at least we have made